Hey everybody, welcome back to Gotham Garage slash Jack of all trades. Today I'm at a customer's house. They're having problems with the water surging. It's a well system. It comes out of the well, goes to the storage tank, and then they pull it out of the tank with another pump. When it does that, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the pressure tank. It's going to be waterlogged. It's going to be full of water. The bladder inside, which gives you your pressure, you have air in there. Water comes in, and it pushes against that bladder and creates pressure. That bladder splits. It'll fill it up, and the whole tank will become one big, storage tank, pretty much. And then the pressure will jump around, up, down. It just screws everything up. So instead of having a steady stream, coming out like that and then come on and do it again, it just goes and that's all it does. So what I'm going to show you guys is not only what it looks like and what to look for, also how to put a pressure tank in. So let's go check this out. Okay, so here's the tank, this one right here. So you got your storage tank. So you got your pressure switch right there. And what it'll do is when it's waterlogged, the pressure will drop down, up, down, up, down, up. So on this gauge, like right now, the system's turned off, but sitting at 60 psi. So it'll slowly go down, a little bit, and then kick back on, and it just surges. So let me see if I can simulate that real quick for you. Ouch. See that? It'll slowly go down. See? Keep in mind now, there's no water being used. Everything's off. So one way to tell, if you see that, one way to find out if that's what's going on, with the pressure tank, turn your the breaker off for the well pump. So we got or not the well, so you got the well, which is this breaker, and then you got the house pump or pressure pump right here. It's off. So you're gonna go to here, you're gonna undo this. See the air nipple coming out for the air? This is how to tell if it's leaking. It's full of water. So that's what's going on, that's what's wrong. Shouldn't be like that. Should not be any air in this system whatsoever right now. Or not air, water inside of there. So when you press that down on your pressure tank, if water comes out, the pressure tank's shot. Got to change it, got to put a new one in. All right, so now what I got to do is don't have a shut-off valve on the system. Of course not. Beginners. That's all right. So I'm gonna open up a hose bib, drain it down, get the water out of the system, just like that. With the way the system is, it's going to be siphoning out from the top of the tank, so you're going to have to go up to the tank, this out of the way. You have to go up to the tank, and undo the union that's on the pump up there. So I'll go show you guys that now. Sorry about the noise. There's a dog next door barking like crazy right now. I don't know why. It's not me. It's too far away. Alright, so let me set you guys down for a second. I gotta get this thing set. Okay, so jump on this thing. Alright, so you climb up to the top of the tank. You're gonna have two lines. You're gonna have whichever one, I don't know which one it is. You're gonna have the well fill. It's gonna be this one or this one. And then the other one, whatever one you have, is gonna be the pressure pump. Well, the way to find that out is to get inside the tank. So, okay. So, this is the well right here. So it's a pressurized well system. Comes in, so right now it's off. That turns the tank off so it doesn't fill up no more. See that? So that's how that works. Now, the house system, there's a pump down there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Probably. I'm kind of in the way. Yeah, there's a pump down at the bottom of the tank. So, right here, there's a union. Some systems don't have this, so if you don't have a union on here, you're gonna have to cut one in, and you're just gonna be siphoning the water out of the tank the whole time you're doing this. So, I'm gonna bust this loose. Let me set you guys down for a second. Ooh, that's a good one. It's on there tight. Okay, gotta get a wrench. Okay, so got my wrench. I don't know if you guys can see the wrench or me working on it. Just have to set you guys down because I can't hold it and do this at once. Okay, so here we go. So I got my wrench on there. All you're gonna do is bust it loose. Through the air. That's causing a siphon out of this tank. You're just gonna take it off. Just like that. So now the system's off of the union and it ain't gonna go nowhere. It'll stay there. And then you got the string or the wire on here anyways holding it, so it's not going to go very far. You can always pull it back, you know, all that good stuff. Okay, so we got that. Now this thing's leaking. I'm gonna have to show you guys how to do that too, if those don't shut off. So that one's not shutting off. See how it's still going? It's not stopping. See the steady stream? That should not be doing that. I have this thing pulled up. So there's sediment inside the spring in there. So I'll do that after I'm done fixing the pressure tank. So now you go down. Now that it's done, you know, draining the tank or trying to. Yeah, new guy. I was training. I was out sick and he was doing the system by himself. Well, he had the same problem. The pressure tank went out and he called me and asked me what was going on. I told him what to do. He did all this system with that thing draining the whole time. And he calls me, he's like, dude, you can't get nothing done on that thing. It's soaking me, you know, it's getting me all wet. It's flooding me out. And I said, what are you talking about? I was like, you shouldn't have got wet at all. It should have been, turn the system off, you're good to go. You know, and undo the union in the tank. And he's like, There's no union in the tank though. I'm like, well, then you cut the pipe, man. You got to put a union in there. So yeah, he got a little wet. It was funny. He was laughing. That was a funny day. I made fun of him for a little while after that. All right. So anyways, I'm gonna set you guys right here. Hopefully you guys can see. Let me make sure you can see. Yeah, you guys can see. All right. So once you're done doing that, you're gonna come over here. You're gonna take this union off. So if you do not have a union, do the same thing you do in the tank. Cut it. Give yourself some room. So in the middle of the fitting, so there's a T right here. You're gonna give yourself, a cut right in the middle of between the tank and the T. Cut that pipe right in the middle. That way you can give yourself some room so you can put your fitting back, a union in there so you can change the tanks and all that when you're done. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this off, like so. And this thing's gonna have a lot of water in it, so you guys will see here in a second. There it goes. Now, this tank is full of water. I'm gonna move it to the side. I'm gonna shut this off so it doesn't drain everything on the house side. So this thing's still draining. Let me move it back a little bit so you guys can see. And I'm gonna do something. It's a little trick that I learned. So these things are a pain in the ass to change, or to lift up and move, all that good stuff. So this is my trick. You're gonna get a tool that takes out the Schrader valve in here. When you take that out, it'll drain this whole pressure tank out. So let's get a Schrader tool, Schrader valve or whatever. Schrader removal tool. That's what they're called. I have a real one at my house, but I am not bringing that to work. So I made this one. It's got a wire nut on the end of it, and then it's threaded onto here with a it's a, what do you call it, it's an actual, like a tire air thing. So not like that one. It's like this one right there. So this piece on the end is kind of like that, but it goes into a car. So anyways, I super glued it into the wire nut, and then this piece, it's just an old cap that has it on there. Some of them have them. So if you find those, keep those. They remove these. The Schrader's inside of here. Okay. And so what I did is I took some wax that I melted, put some wax in there, screwed it on, and then it when it dried, it doesn't come off now. Yeah, but you can get it off if you need to change it if you break it. That's why I did wax instead of super glue. Anyways, so this is what you do. You can take out the Schrader valve. Stick you guys right there. So take the Schrader out. Come on, get out of there. See that? Now it'll drain. And I don't have to worry about trying to lift this thing full of water. Okay, so now let's get the new tank. So the new pressure tank. The one that was in there was a 35 gallon steel tank. The only one that I have at the shop right now that will work in here is a PL22. So it's a 22 gallon FlexCon, or a Flex 2 Pro. It's a poly tank. Let's pull it out and I'll show you guys what that thing looks like and all that good stuff. Let me get it out and I'll show you guys what it is. Give me a second. Okay, this is the PL22 polyglass, or polyfiberglass or whatever. Well, it doesn't say on here. Anyways, it's not steel, so it won't rot away, which is good, because around here, everything rusts. It sucks. We're always fighting rust and stuff around here. Anyways, so what you're going to need to do, if you noticed, on here, that fitting is 1.25 inch fitting. Over here, that's a 1 inch fitting. We're gonna have to put a bushing on here and put a union on. I suggest, no matter what you are doing, put a union on anything that you have to change eventually. So pressure tanks, pumps, cartridge filter housings, all that stuff. Put a union, because if something happens, you're able to remove it without cutting the pipes. So, for instance, cartridge filter, it's got 2 unions on it. Easy to remove. If this thing breaks, you know, the housing right here, you're able to take it out, replace it without having to change a bunch of plumbing. Same thing with this one over here. This one's got a union on it. This is the well system. Comes from the well, goes into here, creates pressure, and goes out the line through this. This is called a sand separator. Goes through there and grabs any sand that's in the water and pulls it out. They'll send it down and go to right here. These are auto flush valves on the bottom. Most of them do not have that. This is something that we install, so nobody's having to sit out here and press stuff. So in order to, you know, purge it or whatever, if the system does not have these, you'll have a ball valve on the bottom down here. You're going to undo that or open it so it'll drain and get all the water out, or all the sand out. These, to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to make sure these valves are not broke, you're going to press the button that says purge. We're going to press it. Well, dang it, I got the tank wet. Anyways, that's how that works. So it goes through there, and then goes from out of this over to the tank. Does that so it doesn't fill up with sand. That's a pain in the ass trying to get sand out of tanks, let me tell you. It'll take you probably a damn half the day to do that. All right, so you need a bushing. It's gonna go from 1 inch to 1.25 inches. Come over here to the bushing pile. Here's one. Got 1 inch in the center, 1.25 inches on the out. Usually on these bushings, they're all gonna say what size they are. 1.25 inches by 1. This is gonna thread onto here, like so. But piped up on there first. I'm just showing you guys. So now that we got that on there, now we can go grab the half of the union that we need, which is on my truck. It's over here. Sometimes people don't always have this stuff, and we're gonna have to go buy one. Look at that, got one ready to go right there. Heck yeah. Okay, there's the part of the union that I need. That's the other part where it threads on. See, there's the one that's on the other tank, just like this one. Now, when you put these on, make sure you have this ring on there, because if you don't, you're screwed. You're gonna have to redo everything and do it all over again. So you're gonna take this, set down your union, that part of the union. It's called the lock ring. Stick it in there. It's locked in. Now you're gonna come off. Now you're gonna take this. You know, a good way to do this is for somebody that's never done it before, you're going to take this piece of the union, you're going to put it into here, thread it in. Do not put it on backwards. You want this side on the tank. That's just to help you push it on. Okay, so let's take this bushing off. Put the tank over. Go over to here. Drop my tailgate. I can set you guys up and you guys can watch. Oh, sorry about that. Just need to grab some pipe dope. This piece glues into here. Let's glue that in. Get yourself a rag so you can wipe down the inside of the union when you're done. All right. This is the best glue I've ever came across. This stuff dries in freaking 3 minutes. Good stuff. And put about 3/4 of the dauber on your fitting. So about like that. Go all the way around it. Get it nice and wet. And you're gonna take your union. Remember, this side only, not this one. This side. Same thing. 3/4 of the dauber. Get her nice and wet with the glue. And take your bushing and the union. Push them together. Hold it. It'll try to pop out on you. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So you're gonna wipe it down, get it nice and clean. That's done on the outside. Now, I'm gonna take this off. I'll remember to put it on. Because you're not using this, you can use it somewhere else, on another job somewhere. Make sure there's no glue here. Try to wipe it off. I wiped it off. I mean, there's still some there, but it ain't gonna cause a problem. See that? That's on the O-ring. Get this off. You don't want that glued together. There we go. Take your ring, put it back on. All right, now that's all done, put this back on. And go over to the pressure tank. Let's grab some pipe dope real quick. There's my wrench, there it is. Okay, you're gonna grab yourself 2 wrenches. This one may be too small for this, but I'll find out here in a second. Set you guys up again. Can you guys see that? Yeah. All right. You're gonna take your pipe dope, grab your 2 wrenches, grab your fitting. Pipe dope the threads on the nipple itself. They're sticking out that you're gonna put your fitting onto. Don't be chintzy with the pipe dope. Make sure it's sealed. Make sure everything's nice and pipe doped up. Thread sealer all the way around it. That's good. Okay. Take your fitting, put it on. Thread it down so you can't turn it no more with your hand. Now, take your bigger wrench of the two. Put it on this. Go down one more. There's that one. You're going to take the other small one. And you're going to hold this piece, this one. Stick that like that. Tighten this down. Don't over tighten it. Don't bottom this thing out. You're going to have about 1/4 of the threads left when you're done. There's that. Let me show you. If you over tighten this, it will break. You will have a leak. So give yourself, you know, about 1/4 of the threads left on here. Don't bottom it out to this. Another thing to watch when you're tightening these on, this part of this union, but it has a bushing end, so you're not gonna be able to tell very easy. A lot of time this will start to spread outward. This piece right here will start to come out. When it does that, stop. Don't tighten it up any farther. If it's still loose when it does that, grab another fitting, you know, or another union, do it again. You want to make sure that it tightens up. If for some reason the next one you grab does the same thing, you're going to want to wipe the pipe dope off. You're going to put tape, you know, some plumber's tape on there. You're going to go around it, not a lot, just do three wraps around the threads, and then put pipe dope on top of the tape, and then put your fitting on. That should do the trick. All right, so now that we got that, I am the type of plumber, everything that I do, I like to be clean. I don't like to have stuff. So this extra pipe dope here, I'm taking this off. I'm gonna wipe it all off. I don't like getting pipe dope all over everything. That's how I like to have mine. Okay, now that my pants are soaking wet from leaning down on the floor, now we can lift the tank up. So now the next thing that we're gonna do, some of you guys will not, well actually, everybody won't have one of these. Let's see if I can find mine though. It's been a while since I've used it. Kind of just sits in my truck. I have a feeling it's in my other bag. Check it here just because. Yeah, I don't think it's in here. Okay, whatever. All right, so now that you got that thing ready to go, you're gonna take your old tank, and it's still full of water. Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna set you guys up over here so you're not gonna be in the way of swinging. So set you guys up so you can see what I'm gonna do. So that thing's still full of water. I can't pick it up. Where is it? There it is. So I'm gonna grab a tool for that to puncture it. Pickaxe. I'm gonna swing this over. You're going to hit it as low as you can to drain the whole tank. Right about here. Do it again. Let her drain. Okay. So while that's draining, I'm going to spin it over there so we can get the new tank in. But there's a thing taken care of for you so you guys can see. All right. Now that we got that all taken care of right there, I'll sit you guys back right here. Let's put this new tank in. Alright. Remember, this piece does not stay on here. This one. Take it off. It's already on there. Bring it on over. Run it up to the other pipe. And re-hook up your union. Tighten it down. Don't over tighten it though. Just want to lock her down. There we go. That's it. For that one anyways. Alright, now when you're in here doing the system, check this. See how this thing's not zeroed out? Change it. Put a new one in. They're simple and easy. Easiest way to change those out. Get you some wrenches. It's going to be a 9/16. As you can tell, the one that's used the most when I'm doing plumbing is this one, 9/16. Go over to the gauge. Put it there. If you cannot bust it loose, you're gonna have to grab something to help you. So in this instance, I'll grab this and put it on there and then break it loose. They're not easy things to change, but I mean they're doable. If you can't get the wrenches down there, hold the pipe as tight as you can and just take it off. There we go. There. Okay. Unthread it. Junk. This is garbage. Throw it in the box. Make sure you don't lose your parts that are laying on the ground. So, these are the pressure gauges I have. Comes in a box like this. 0 to 100. PSI. Looks like that. Take this cap off. Pipe dope here. Same thing, make sure you get pipe dope all the way around that. Try not to get it in that hole. If it's down on the bottom, just take your finger and wipe it away. See? Take it over, put it back in. After you get it in, there's a protective film on here. You're gonna pull it off once you get it in. I don't know if you guys can see that. See it? Some of them have them, some of them don't. Mine's off. I don't need to leave it on when I put it in. I'm just gonna thread it on in. Just like that. Take a wrench. Tighten it in. Don't have to go crazy with it. Just make sure it's in there. So if you guys can see, this pipe is flexing a lot. I gotta sit you guys down. So I'll put you guys right there so I can finish this off. Do the same thing as you take it off. Hold it. Finish tightening it up. Almost reversed it. Tighten her in. I'm gonna go one more turn because it's getting pretty tough. Stop it to where you can see the gauge. There's that one for me. So, that's what it looks like on. Now that we got that, this was a 40-60 setting. Should have been. So with a 40-60 setting, you want your pressure tank at 35 PSI. Steel tanks are 2 PSI off. So if you're doing 40-60, you want 38 PSI. Grab your pressure gauge. See how I got 40, almost 40 in there? Lead it down. Almost. You're just about there. So yeah, just bleed the air out to get to the pressure you want. There we go, 35. So once you get that there, put your gauge away, take the cap, put it back on. Normally people don't write on these tanks. I do, so I know what the settings are. A lot of people don't do that, so then you got to figure out what it is. To figure out what it is, you turn the system on and watch that pressure gauge. Wherever it ends up, where it kicks on. Remember, poly tanks like this, 5 below cut-in pressure of the gauge. Steel tanks like this, 2 below cut-in pressure on the gauge. So now that we know what it is, let's see if I can find a permanent marker somewhere. Oh, well, I don't think I have one. I know where it's at. It's in my house. Great place for it, right? Frickin' Mondays. All right. Well, I don't have anything to write on, so, and you know, to put the pressure on. So, yeah, just I have paperwork to write it on. It's always a good idea to write it down though, but dang it. I was kind of hoping I had a permanent marker. Okay, anyway, so there's that. So there's 35 PSI in here. Now, go back over to the tank, put that union back on. Do not forget to put this back on. If you forget, it'll just continually do that. Okay, so I'll stick you guys right there. Don't fall in, please. Stick that in. This thing is not wanting to line up, so spin it off to the side to make it line up. There we go. Union goes back on. Okay, now time to fix that drip. Shut this off. We have a ball valve on ours, so we can do this. You're gonna take this off. Inside of here, there is a screen. Do not lose it. If it comes out and falls off, you're screwed. There's the screen. See how it's all plugged up? So, just take it out. Clean it off. There, now that's all cleaned up. Now we go like this. Put it back in. You just push it in. Let's see if I can show you. It stays locked in. Then you just put it back on. So you're gonna take it and you're gonna spin it back in. See? Now it's not leaking. Good. All right. Don't shut the lid there yet, because when you start it, you gotta make sure that union's not leaking up there. Okay, so now that we got that all figured out, turn your ball valve back on. Turn your pressure system back on. It's on. Take the pressure out. Let all the air out of the system. There. That's good. Go over here. Put your water off. You're gonna hear it pop in the pressure tank. That's normal. So remember, this is a 35 or a 40-60. If that thing goes past 60, we got to get our blue nut driver and loosen it. Nope, perfect. So there it is. Good to go. Fixed. Now, grab your wrench, the big one. I have a feeling this union is going to be leaking. In fact, I can hear it. This is why you do not shut it. Try to make sure everything's fine. Oh, that's doing that. Okay, so just double check. Everything's good. Close it all up. That's it. Okay, so that's how you tell if you're having surging problems at your house. especially if you have a pressure system or something like that. If you have a pressure tank, that's going to cause that. So 9 times out of 10, remember, it's going to be the pressure tank. It's going to be full of water. As you've seen, just press that little button on top, the Schrader valve. If water comes out, you already know what's wrong. Let's see. Yep, that's pretty much it. I showed you guys how to change it. Remember to put a union on there, that way it's sealed, and then if you have to change it again, you have a way to do it without cutting the pipes. If you do not have a union on, cut one in, put it in. It's always a good idea. Makes your life a whole lot easier the next time you got to do it. Hope you guys had a good weekend. See you next time.